Hi there, my name is Bethany Barnard and I have a Facebook page called Stamping in the Barnyard, and I'd love for you to come visit and like it. But today I'm working on a video from a series that I did this summer in July, and it was called Christmas in July, and it all focused on this one stamp set and dies, which I have in here as well, as many people do keep them inside their stamp set. I chose the Window Wishes bundle because I feel it has so much versatility. First of all, if we're just talking about Christmas cards, you have this beautiful spray that goes around a window. You have the wreath. You have candles that you can put in a window. You have two different types of trees, three different stamps, two different types. You have a little bit of snowfall. You have some snow marks that you can make, a house, a car. On the outside you can put Merry Wishes, and you can put May Happy Moments and Wonderful Memories be yours this season, or you can do Merry Wishes and on the inside for lots of joy at Christmas, or you can put peace, or from our hearts to yours. So I see this as a set that can be used for several years of Christmas cards, and they would look different. I just think it's a great set. But additionally, with the houses and the neighborhood, you could make cards that say welcome to the neighborhood, or congratulations on your new home, and just different scenes. I also have seen this die can be cut out to be made to make a birthday cake. I'm going to show you what that die looks like. And you can see that it almost has the shape of a birthday cake, and you can put the candles on it, which are separate. These cut out flames, and so you could turn that into a birthday cake. Also, you have this die for a bow that can go on top of the wreath. It also can go on this swag. And in some of my future videos, you'll see how I've cut up this swag to do different things with it as well. And I just think it all comes out really nice. And I think, as most people do, that just even the window, and it's got a window sill too, is so helpful to make various cards again throughout the year. And I look forward to sharing with you my other projects that I've made with this stamp set and these dies. It really is, I hope you'll consider it. It really is a great set. It comes with 20 stamp sets. I'm sorry, 20 stamps. It'd be great if it came with 20 stamp sets, wouldn't it? But the second card that we're gonna try and make today, because this is the second in the series of 7, and I may add to that in the future. But this is the card that we're going to make. I don't remember what this fold is called, but I love it because it folds flat, goes into an ordinary medium envelope like this. But when the recipient gets it, they can stand it up like that. And you can sign on the back here. And it's just a cute, exceptional card. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you on how to make it. All right, so we're going to go through the different pieces that you need and what the sizes are. So you'll need to start with a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock, and this is cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4, and then it's scored right down the middle at 2 3/4. Likewise, you're going to need 2 basic white pieces that measure 2.5 inches by 4 inches. And they'll go on the back of our cards like this. And you'll see that as we put it together. And then you're going to need another piece of basic white that is 5 inches by 2 inches. And it's scored at 1/2, 2.5, and 4.5. I hope you can see those score marks. And then you'll need another whisper white that is 6.5 inches by 1.5 inches. And this is scored only at 1/2 inch and 6 inches. So a 1/2 inch from either end. Now this designer series paper is not part of this suite, but I just thought that paper was so beautiful for a background. And this comes from our Santa Express designer series paper. And you can find that on page 17 of our July to December 2020 mini catalog, which is where the stamp set and dies are found as well. You're going to also need one piece of paper or scrap papers where you're going to stamp these other images. And I should have one in here for my greeting. Well, I'll get that when the time comes and we should be all set. I have a feeling it might be still in. Yep, here it is. So this, I have two just in case I make a mistake, but this is just a 1/2 inch by, my guess is 2 inches. Yep, 1/2 inch by 2 inches, and that's for our Merry Wishes to be stamped. Now the ink colors we're using are the Bermuda Bay, Blushing Bride, Real Red, the in color Evening Evergreen, and the Smoky Slate. And I'll show you where we'll use that. I'm not going to be stamping in front of you today while we make this card and put it together, because I have already stamped them and cut them out so that we didn't take up too much time for this video. But just so that you know, I stamped 3, and you can make this card different if you want to, but I stamped 3 of the double conifer stamps in the Evening Evergreen, and then I stamped 3 of the single trees in Bermuda Bay, and I've put one on top of this car. Actually, and I have another one of these, but that's because it's supposed to be the one that goes on top of the car. And so just to show you, but I've already stamped the car, and then you add the tires in black. And I didn't mention the basic black. Memento black is what I used for those tires. So you'll need that ink as well. And then put your tree on top. And I made sure, I cut this one out by hand. You don't have to, because you could cut it out and then just add a piece like this. But the reason you're gonna need that is because you're gonna put it behind here. And you need something to adhere it to the back. And you'll see this as I put the card together. But as I said, you can cut these out with your die cuts and then just add an extension piece to it. And then I did one house in Bermuda Bay and one house in Blushing Bride. And they both have the Smoky Slate roofs on top. Okay, so those are hopefully all the pieces we need. And we'll get started to put this card together. Of course, the first thing, in my opinion, is to put our background. So I'm going to put this DSP here. And you'll see that the other side has these beautiful snowflakes, which would also make a nice background. But I just am such a lover of that Bermuda Bay color. It's so pretty, this designer series paper. So you're going to just basically, you're going to put this up, because we're going to put a really narrow. And the reason I cut it at 4 inches is so you can get more out of your sheet of 12 by 12. So you're going to see at the bottom here, which will be covered up by this snowbank here. But it means that you can do this more times out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So I wanted to leave a really close border here, in case you're wondering why. If you wanted to, you could just do this at 2.5 by 4 inches, but I did make this a little bit wider just because I love the paper so much. I just heard a loud thunder. I wonder if you heard that on the video that I heard outside. Okay, so here we go with our other trees. There we go. And then we can go ahead and even put our white pieces on the back, which would be these two. Now I did stamp, and will stamp with you here. This verse, I like this verse that says, "May happy moments and wonderful memories be yours this season." I want to make sure I do it right side up. And you can see that I'm just copying this here. So I'm going to do Bermuda Bay pair of trees here, and then that verse in the real red. So here's my real red. want to be sure that you can see this. Just a nice verse, and it stamps up so nicely. And then with my double pair of conifers and my Bermuda Bay ink pad, we'll just put a pair of these trees down here. There we go. And now we can glue these onto the back of the card. And as I said, this gives you a full side that you can write your own Christmas greeting and sign it. And if you prefer, you can do it this way. In fact, I think I will this time. I'm using my liquid glue, which is very economically priced, but I also think it has a lot of benefits as far as the two ends that you can use. I like to use the fat end when I'm putting a large piece on because it flattens the glue out while I'm placing it on. I also like that this gives me a little bit of time to reposition because it's a liquid glue rather than some of our tapes. And I do like to use those at times as well, but this is my pretty much go-to adhesive. So it's the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. All right, so we're gonna put this here. Okay, so there's our back and there's our background. Okay, so taking the piece that's 2 inches by 5 inches, you'll see that we've done these scores, which I'm going to use my bone folder and just get a nice crisp fold going. Now you can just freehand cut this. You can see I've done that here. Or you can, if you have the courage, and not all of us do, but you can tear it so it has more of a sort of natural snowfall look to it. So I don't always have that courage, but I apparently had it today. So the next thing you want to do, before I actually adhere it to this, I want to go ahead and add my little house here. And I'm going to do that just by putting a tiny bit of glue along the very base of the house. And so you want to make sure that you have anything that you add to this paper is not added right at the score mark here, but on either side. So I've put this on the left-hand side. Another thing you can do, these wings here that we're going to glue down in there, you can cut them at an angle and they don't show as much when you put them in on the card. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is a pair of my trees, and I'm going to put them on this outside, so I only have to glue them on top, so that makes that easy enough. And I just love the way this card has just all these, I don't know, three-dimensional type looks to it. But I'm also going to add one Bermuda Bay one behind it because you can see all that mixture of color in the designer paper. So I am going to put a little glue on the bottom of this because it should adhere to the evergreen trees that I've placed in front. So you'll see I'm just gonna, there we go. And then we have like 3 trees there. And then I'm gonna take another pair of these trees and I'm gonna put them here. I love making a picture and putting them together. I just love this card. I love this stamp set. I really think, I mean, I love a lot of the stamp sets that have come out, and it shows by how many of them I've purchased. But if I could only purchase one, I think it might be this set. Okay, so now we have those, and now I'm going to go for another Bermuda Bay tree. Whoops. Oh, that's on my car. Here we go. Ooh, I heard that thunder again. Anyone else? And that's just so that we get a sprinkling of the different colors, so that you have a little bit of the Bermuda and the evening evergreen. Okay, and once you have those, now we're gonna just put adhesive right on these two flaps here, and we're gonna line up this center fold with this center fold, and we're gonna glue them down. Now we need to know that this is not only higher than this other piece that's 1.5 inches by 6.5 inches, but we're going to be tearing this one as well. So you need to make sure it comes down enough that once we tear this, in fact, let's do that now. Let's just go ahead and tear this. Or you can cut it if you know, and go up and down hilly like. But I love the teared look. So now I can see just how high that's going to go, and so I know I need to put this down here. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on these wings. I don't know, I call them wings, tabs. I'm hoping, that's why I like to do a video, because then whatever word I use to explain it, you can see what I'm doing, and hopefully that means that you know what I mean by wings or tabs. Okay, so we've got this. Now you don't want it to stick. Yeah, so you want it, and you kind of want to help it. It's going to go in the envelope like this, but you want to help make sure that when it gets folded out, it actually pops out. Now on this one, we don't put any fold in the center because this is going to be rounded like this. And it will pull it a little bit to make, so that when the recipient receives the card, they kind of understand how that's going to pop out or how they set it up. So again, I'm going to use my bone folder and give us these wings or tabs. I think I'm the only one in the world who calls them wings. And I'm going to, again, angle them down from the top so they're not so obvious. And before I add this to the card, I'm going to go ahead and put my car on, and this house and these trees. So this time I'm going to put the glue only on this little white piece here that I've purposely left down, or if you want to add a piece, as I said earlier, like this and glue it to the back of the car and down, then you can glue all of this down. But I thought about it before I cut it out, so that's why I can just do this. And you kind of want the tires to show. There we go. So there's our car coming home with the tree. And then we're going to take our Bermuda Bay tree house, and add it. And again, it's going to stick up over the snow, so you only want to put some adhesive on the very bottom of it. Boy, I can hear the rain coming down now. I have to wonder if you can hear that on the video. Well, that's what you get when you live in Florida. All right. And then finally, we're going to put on these trees, this last pair of trees. And I really do still have that one extra one that I stamped and cut out, so I may add that too. But again, I like these popping up over the top of the snowbank. So we'll do those there. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on these two tabs. here. And you'll see we have a finished card. Oh, I still need to write the Merry Wishes. All right, let me get this added on. But I hope you can see just how quick this card comes together, how pretty it is, how easy it is. And you know, it really doesn't use very much cardstock either, because you don't have a whole card base. You've just got that 5.5 by 4 1/4 card base. But the size of the card still ends up the same size, a medium size, you know, for a medium envelope. So here you have it. 2 more. I'm going to add the Merry Wishes using my Real Red. Make sure I do this right side up. Yes, I've been known to, well, it doesn't matter because it's just on a white piece of paper. I could turn it around if I got it wrong. Okay, there we go. It really is an easy set to work with. It comes up so nice. And then I'm gonna glue this on. And you've got that wiggle room to make sure it's straight. And there you have it. And I may come in here and add another tree. I'm not sure if I will or not, or save it for another project. I might put it there, I don't know. But for now, we'll just leave it as is. And those are the 2 cards completed. Let me stand up like this. And I hope you can see just how easy those cards are to make. Thanks for watching.